Remember, Harrell went around there to Motown and it ain't work out. He ain't got no job, and Puff was like, hot damn. Come on over here, Harrelly. Come on, girl. We got a spot for you over here, right next to me. Hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Have y'all bought this book yet? Y'all paying this man for his game? Because you know it is to be sold and not told. But go on over there to the Amazon. There's a link in the description bar and check it out. Mace was in a similar predicament. Fortunately, Mace got so much media attention from his rhymes on the remix of Only You by Atlanta's 112 that everybody suddenly wanted him on their songs. Within 6 months, Mace had recorded with Mariah Carey, Brian McKnight, Busta Rhymes, and Puff, of course. Puff even dubbed Mace onto a couple of songs that Biggie had left in the vault. I don't know how to describe Mace's sound. Him and Biggie didn't have the same cadence, but it was like they both had this stopped up nose. I got asthma. I can barely breathe, so I'm breathing out of my mouth instead of my nostrils type sound that worked. It's crazy. It's like they both had sinuses or something. Yeah, and right quick, let me give 112 their props, because I know at the time I was like the only one that wasn't sweating 112. I don't know why. But just about all them boys could sing. And a lot of you in the comments had told me that, Nay, 112 can sing. And I'm like, I don't know why the fuck I couldn't acknowledge that 112 could sing. I don't know. But anyway, that lead singer from 112 has a very unique gazoo type sound. Puff was basically Harrell's Boy Friday. You say what, nigger? You say what? You mean to tell me that Puffy was a Farnsworth Bentley? As a yes. Harrell was supposedly looking for a way to fire Puff when Puff's concert blunder resulted in the trampling death of nearly a dozen teenagers. After the firestorm died down, Harrell fired Puff. Puff was devastated. He went from being the fair-haired sidekick who spent weekends lounging by the pool to living in a dingy apartment in Harlem. Because the deaths of the teenagers and Harrell's influence made Puff a pariah in the music industry, he was unable to find another music gig, so he decided to start his own label. He was following his mentor's footsteps as Harrell started Uptown in 1987 after creative differences with Russell Simmons led him to quit Rush Management. Mark says that Harrell was like, you just only showing one type of rapper. There's a lot of different kinds of rappers out here. But Russell Simmons got caught up in that Me Too movement, and I'm not surprised. Okay? I mean, I'm not surprised. He's part of that. He's part of the 80s. And the 90s. A former rapper himself, he was much more attuned to black culture than Simmons and was too smart to stereotype all young black men as thugs. As part of the early 1980s duo called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, his high school friend Alonzo Brown, Harrell had several hit records, among them AM/FM, Genius Rap, and A Fast Life. Unfortunately, fame went to Harrell's head. He went from being the humble son of a poor man to a multi-millionaire in less than a decade. So he was justifiably proud, but unjustifiably arrogant. I don't know what to say. Puff remembered the humiliation he suffered under Harrell, and now it was payback time, or so people said. They said that Puff only hired Harrell in order to fire him. Within weeks of hiring Harrell, Puff started disrespecting him in public. Remember, Harrell went around there to Motown and it ain't work out. Okay, he ain't got no job, and Puff was like, hot damn. Come on over here, Harrelly. Come on, girl. Come on. We got a spot for you over here, right next to me. Harrell lived a lavish lifestyle, which was part of the reason that he fizzled so fast at Motown. Puff complained that Harrell had only taken the job offer because he needed the paycheck and that he didn't really care about Bad Boy. Okay. That was the nature of their relationship when Puff introduced me to Harrell in February 1988. So you know the company was in trouble. Everything was a contest of wills with Puff. Yeah. Like all Scorpios. Like, that's what they do. They test you, child. That's what they do. And that shit is maddening. When you got a Scorpio on your team, luckily, I am the granddaughter of a Scorpio, so I don't have to work hard, you know. And Mick is a Scorpio. I don't have to work hard to earn their love and loyalty. But I'm telling you, man, that shit ain't nothing to play with. Them Scorpios, man, I love y'all, because when you got a Scorpio on your team, you are damn near invincible because their loyalty is friggin' unmatched. But you better believe that you're going to earn that friggin' loyalty. Everything was a contest of wills with Puff. If he thought for 1 minute that you were trying to avoid becoming completely dependent upon him, or that you were getting attention that he felt that he deserved, he would try to toss you aside or belittle you in some way. For example, Biggie got mad about how Puff controlled his money and demanded a higher percentage once his career took off. Puff retaliated by threatening to sign more artists and to give less attention to promoting Biggie. Ooh, that Gemini. Ooh, I love you, Geminis. Ooh, I love you, crazy bitches. Oh. So let me tell you what Biggie would do. Yeah, so I'm trying to go out on the road, Puff, and make some money. Won't you go ahead and set some things up for me? Puff would be like, ooh, let's get this money, brother. Yep. And what he would do is allow Puff to make the tour dates, okay, with all these venues and promoters and stuff, child. When it came time to go on stage, that nigga was nowhere to be found. Biggie would get missing. That's what you get, Puff. That ninja Puffy would be backstage sweating tears. You hear me? Blood, sweating, blood, mucus. Who the Lord. Right after the announcer of the tour would say, "Here comes Biggie." Then Biggie would come out, put his arm around Puff and be like, "Hey man, what's poppin'? You want to talk business? Because I see them people out there, Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. They calling for me. You don't want that trouble, do you, Puffy? So I think you better give me what I want." And because Biggie had caught Puff between a rock and a hard place, Puffy had to cave to give Biggie what he wanted. Good job. I'll Be Missing You was produced by Stevie J. Jordan, one of a handful of producers called the Hitmen. Another cat he used as a producer was Mario Winans. Everyone was surprised when the song debuted at the #1 spot on Billboard's Top 100 because no one realized that Biggie was idolized to that degree. It also quickly shot to the top of the charts in Canada, Europe, and a dozen other countries. I'll Be Missing You went platinum 7-fold within months. Okay? One of you in the comments had told me that the only people that got paid off that was Sting and Puffy. Faith say she ain't got no money from the goddamn song, and she sang the hook, and it was about her husband. The hell? No Way Out album had a couple of more hits on it, but the main reason for its success was pure and simple: Biggie. Biggie was featured on several cuts, and Puff used samples from some of the biggest hits of the 1970s and 1980s. The album debuted at Billboard's #1 spot. It won the Grammy for Best Rap Album, and Rolling Stone declared Puff the Artist of the Year. What? Puff was thrilled, of course, but Stevie J was fuming. He had long been fed up with how Puff was shortchanging him, so he took a page out of Biggie's playbook. This was during a period when Puff had hired Stevie J to work his magic with Mary J. Blige. Puff and I were in LA having dinner one night when Stevie J called him. The producer had already put the finishing touches on a couple of songs for her, but Puff was putting pressure on him to produce more. What you've got is nice, but it ain't top 10. I need you to produce a couple of more. Make a couple of more efforts. You haven't paid me a dime, Puff, Stevie J shot back. I'm up here working my ass off, and you got a big-ass budget for Mary J. But you don't want to do right by me, man? You're going to have to come up with some money fast or I'm walking. You're treating me like you're my bitch or something, Puff replied. Yeah, because the way it did come off, it did sound like do me right or I'm going to leave your ass. But what other way is it for you to say it? Pay me my money, Puff. It was a cheap shot that he calculated would make Stevie J back off, but it backfired. I may not be your bitch, Stevie J said, but I'm the man who puts the fur coat on your bitch's back and the ring on your bitch's finger. Well, okay, Stevie J is another Scorpio. Touche, touche. You better stop fucking with my money or you won't get shit. I want $300,000 now or I'm out of here. With that, Stevie J hung up the phone and refused to answer any more calls from Puff. Yep, it always takes a Scorpio to check another Scorpio. It's always that way. It's like Clash of the Titans. Oh, I love it. Stevie J didn't show up at Bad Boy Studios the next day, and Mary J. Blige was ticked off. She was stuck in the middle of somebody else's mess, but she knew how trifling Puff was when it came to money, so she didn't aim her anger at Stevie J. Well, also, she don't want that Stevie J fire. I mean, she don't want that. Puff had several people in the office plead with Stevie J to call him, but he ignored them. Then one of Puff's assistants told Stevie J that Puff was willing to give him $30,000 immediately. Stevie J called Puff and told him that he was crazy to think he could get all of those songs for so little money. I won't finish the project for less than $300,000, he said. So as I'm reading this book, I'm looking back, researching the names and watching the videos and reviewing discographies of the different producers who are related to the book or in the book or whatever, right? And when I look at Stevie J's body of work, I swear to God, it's so hard for me to correlate Stevie J from Love and Hip Hop with the producer. Because it's like, to me, Love and Hip Hop destroyed his legacy as a producer. Because for all the names that he has worked with, well, you know, when people do reality TV, they do be broke sometimes. I won't finish the project for less than $300,000, he said. Puff pleaded with him, claiming that he had nowhere near that kind of money, but he doubled his offer to $60,000. He also promised him a bonus if any of the songs went to the top of Billboard. Stevie J knew from the start that he would not get $300,000, but he had also learned that it was impossible to get anything close to a fair shake with Puff unless your original demand was astronomical. Okay. Stevie J took the second offer, but things were never the same between them because the producer felt that Puff had played him and paid him cheap. He lured him in with promises of big money and dividends, and then tried to get hit songs at slave labor wages. Things really took off for Puff, the rapper, after Rolling Stone put him on the cover issue in August 1997. The cover mentioned the deadly fall of Biggie and Tupac and the rise of Puff as the new king of hip-hop. How? You say that you love